reporting. And there is every week we have Bob pop his knuckles into the mic.
Just this time.
Just at the opening. Hi.
Hi.
We're Precarious Pixels. As always, I am Tim, and sitting across from me, the wonderful Bone Poppin' Bob, as we call him.
Ruining the start of the podcast.
That's right, Chubbs to his friends.
Chubbs.
We're making references to something else, but we'll bring you around to that eventually. So, a lot of stuff. There's a lot of movies that came out. A lot of shows are winding down and doing all kinds of crazy things. Game of Thrones is this weekend.
Yeah.
That's right. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know who's going to be sitting on that throne right now.
I know who's going to be on the throne.
Who?
The king under the mountain.
The king under the mountain. Wait, is that the dude from The Hobbit?
Yeah, it's Thorin Oakenshield.
Thorin Oakenshield. You're right. It'd be amazing. He's not on the show, but it would be amazing. All of a sudden, it's like we're crossing these universes. Tolkien, Game of Thrones.
You've never heard of the Lord of the Rings cinematic universe combining with Game of Thrones? They essentially have the same stuff.
That's right. I mean, George R.R. Martin took that part of what's his name? Tolkien's name.
Mm-hmm.
J.R.
Really?
Yeah, like J.R. Tolkien.
So his name is just really like George Martin?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Yeah, or maybe it was just George R. Martin, and he was like, no, George R.R. Martin. Because I'm like Tolkien.
I guess.
Yeah. And that's why all the characters sing songs.
Do they?
They do.
I don't remember that.
You haven't gotten to that part of the show yet. Now they all sing songs.
Oh, it's a musical.
That's right.
Okay.
Kind of like at the beginning of The Hobbit where they're all singing about cleaning up with plates, but it's like they're killing people.
And
it's
everybody's
like, chop
upset.
that head, cleave that liver. I don't know. I'm not good at songs.
Cleave the liver.
Cleave the liver.
You mean the song in The Hobbit that they had to put in there to make the entire book 9 hours long?
Oh, man. I know there's some Hobbit lovers, and I love the original Hobbit, but the 3-movie Hobbit, no, thank you.
I like when they CGI people that don't need to be CGI at all.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Wait, who did they do that to?
The dwarf at the end, the Scottish actor.
Oh,
Connolly, is it?
Tim Connolly, I think his name is. Or, yeah.
Billy Connolly?
Billy Connolly, I'm sorry.
Yeah, like they just brought him on and he's all CG'd. That really annoyed me.
That was kind of weird. Well, it wasn't. Was his face?
It was his face, but it was like a CG body.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know why they did that.
I hate that.
And then made him ride on a giant sheep or something, right? Or a ram?
Did.
I don't know.
Who knows?
There were sandworms from Dune in that. It made no sense. I was like, why are there giant sandworms? Why did sandworms bring the orcs here?
Because you gotta get the one ring to rule them all.
Oh my god.
It's not gonna matter.
I'm waiting for somebody to say the spice must flow.
We're just kidding. The real crossover is with Game of Thrones and Shadow of Mordor.
Oh. Well, I think that Shadow of Mordor is going to be what that Amazon series is going to be, maybe.
I hope not.
Why?
Because it'll be really dumb.
I thought you loved that game.
I love the game.
It would not make a good...
Not the plot.
I think it's supposed to be about young Aragorn.
Okay.
Strider.
Ugh.
Why?
I don't know. What's he going to do? Just go hang out.
He's going to wrestle dudes in a shower.
Shoot his bow. Yeah. It's going to be Eastern Promises.
Eastern Promises. Eastern Middle Earth Promises.
Eastern Hobbitses.
Oh, man. Oh, we should put that in the story. Eastern Middle Earth Promises.
That'd be an interesting movie.
Oh, man. So, yeah. Game of Thrones is this weekend, but last week, me and Bob saw a little movie called Shazam!
Tim is now gigantic.
And I'm now a dude who has a ridiculous sized chest.
Yeah, that was an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Were the other guys wearing suits as well?
I believe so. I think they were all wearing suits.
Weird. Spoiler.
Yes. Yeah. We're gonna spoil the crap out of this movie. Sorry. Um, but there was some. It was good. It was so funny. Yeah, it had a lot of heart to it. I have to say, I like this movie. It's definitely as if a 14-year-old or 13-year-old got superpowers. I forget how old was he? 13,
I think
14?
he was 14, maybe 15.
Okay, 4. Yeah, okay.
But I think the thing that I loved about it the most was that it felt like it was made for kids again.
Yeah.
Because while a lot of the MCU movies are good,
Yes.
a lot of them recently haven't been necessarily made for kids.
That's very true.
They're made for adults who like comics.
Yeah.
And they take their kids with them, and the kids see some cool stuff. But this was, in my opinion, there wasn't really anything too bad that I wouldn't let an 11-year-old watch it. There's language, but that's about it.
Not even that bad. I mean, nothing too bad.
It's PG-13 for
PG-13, I guess. But the violence wasn't like over the top. I mean, the fight scenes were great. They were a lot of fun too, in certain ways. I'm trying to think like anything that was like. Well, I mean, the stuff they didn't like. I thought his father died. Like, remember the beginning? This is definitely some getting to the spoiler stuff. But what's his name? Glover. The guy who plays the bad guy's father.
Oh, you're talking. Well, Mark Strong. I don't know who plays his father, but
Yeah.
I've seen him before.
Yeah, he's been in a ton of stuff. He's the voice of the Riddler from the animated series. He was on Smallville. He played Lionel Luthor. Like, he's been in a ton of stuff. And plays the main bad guy's or what's his name, Savannah or something like that.
Yeah.
Plays his father, who I thought like they get into a car wreck and I thought like killed him, but eventually I guess it just like he put him in like a wheelchair permanently, which is still horrible. But yeah, it was like that. I don't think there was anything too bad in it.
The boardroom scene was a little rough.
The boardroom scene was rough, but it was almost like kind of funny in certain ways. Like the 7 deadly sins basically start eating people, and whatever.
Yeah, but to an 8-year-old.
Yeah, I guess that's like a really young kid probably wouldn't. I don't know, but 8-year-olds who watch The Walking Dead.
Yeah, well, that's a problem.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the level of seriousness of a Hellboy movie.
Yeah.
The old Hellboy, not the new one.
Not the new one. The new one has like monsters and is R-rated.
So did the original, but that wasn't R-rated.
It wasn't R-rated. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it did a really good job. I have to say, it kept 100% true to what the actual comic is. I mean, like, to a fault. Like, they even have, this is a big spoiler, the caterpillar, his name is actually Mr. Mind. He's from the Society of Monsters. It's not a joke.
I believe it. I looked it up after.
Yeah, I did too. And basically, he talks through a little voice box, and he's just basically a centipede from the alligator. Like, remember when they opened the doors in the Rock of Eternity? The world that had the alligators. Okay. That's like where he comes from or something. And apparently he was a bad guy there who started some, problems that the wizard had to like lock him up in the tower of eternity forever. But yeah.
Caterpillars.
Yeah. But even the part like, so this is based off the New 52 version written by Jeff Johns of his Shazam series. They even kept the parts where Savannah's trying to find the tower, and then is finding people around the world who are having the what his doctor thought was, or scientist thought was a mass hysteria, where people are having this crazy delusion of they're seeing a wizard, and he says, if you're worthy, you'll choose, correctly or whatever. But everybody keeps choosing wrong, and then they get sent back, and that's what happened to him when he was a kid. So he's been trying to find the symbols, the magic symbols, to get back in there. And just people think he's crazy, but he knew it like from when he was a little kid. And the seven deadly sins, I guess, are calling to him, of course.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the whole thing of what this movie is. Shazam eventually chooses Billy, as I guess like the good enough. He never really says as like he's a worthy champion. He just kind of thinks, well, you're good enough to kind of have this power. And then it's a lot of them making funny YouTube videos, which I have to say that was the fire test. Hilarious.
Yep.
Basically, he tells his friend that they're trying a teleportation test, and he puts him in a cardboard box, and then lights the cardboard box on fire because it's a secret fire test. It's so funny. But they kept the whole thing where Freddy is like he has problems with his legs or whatever, and he has to walk with I guess what would you call it, like crutches?
I would guess, yeah.
He has to like walk with a crutch and stuff, and he like loves superheroes and stuff. There's references to everybody in here. Everybody's like either wearing like Aquaman shirts, Superman shirts, Batman stuff. So, and Wonder Woman. So obviously it takes place in that time frame after Justice League. So
yeah. Well, maybe he'll make his way into the Justice League.
Yeah, maybe he's going to replace a certain somebody with an S on his chest who didn't seem to show his head in his little cameo. Yeah. So, who knows? Oh, I did find out that, well, this is kind of off topic a little bit. So, Suicide Squad, originally, Idris Elba was going to replace Will Smith as Deadshot. That is not happening now. Idris Elba is going to be a different character, but not Deadshot, because Will Smith said, I love Suicide Squad, I'd love to do another one. So, if they make a third one or something like that, when his schedule allows, he'll probably be back to play Deadshot. So.
Okay.
So, I don't know who...
What else is he doing that's so important?
I have no idea.
Painting his face blue?
Yes. What? Is that something that happened to Will Smith?
Yeah, Aladdin.
Oh, that's right. Well, he doesn't paint his face blue. They just crappily CG it.
He painted his
crappily.
face. Have you watched the new trailer?
I have.
He's running around looking like regular Will Smith.
He does. And I was like, that makes sense, because that was the Entertainment Weekly cover. I was like, oh, they're not going to do blue. I was like, okay, that makes sense, because maybe that's not going to look as good. And it looks really weird when you CG it weirdly. So creepy. Still gives me nightmares.
Well, it's gonna be half the movie of that, and then the other half looking like Will Smith.
Yeah. Which, honestly, I think they need to jump to that other part looking like Will Smith. Come on, Guy Ritchie.
That's tough when the genie is such an important part in the movie.
I know.
And I think the trailer dropped for Lion King, but I haven't watched that yet.
I watched it. It's Lion King, but with real animals. Or at least they look like real animals. Some people are saying, like, what's the point of doing this? Because it's almost like they're not real. Like, all the other movies they're doing are actually live-action people. But this is almost like these are CG, which is still kind of like animators are doing this. So it's like, is it better than doing it with, like just regular 2D animation?
Are they trying to forever get rid of 2D animation?
I don't think so, because they still do like a lot of 2D stuff.
Do they?
Yeah.
Like what?
Trying to think, what was the last? I mean, oh wow. I mean, they still do like the regular shows, like DuckTales, that kind of stuff. That's all 2D.
I guess, but they're movies. I think the last one, their achievement was that they made Princess and the Frog animated.
Right.
Instead of CG. And that was like a big deal for them.
That's true. Because I'm trying to think. Incredibles, Cars.
Well, all the Pixar CG.
Yeah, well, some are. Like, they do some of the shorts are like 2D animation. I've seen a couple of those.
But Moana, like everything Disney too,
Yeah.
recently has been just CG. The other studios, Sony.
Well, Sony, like, it's weird. Like, Spider Verse was. They did it, like, somewhat 2D in it. Like, Spider Ham is completely, like, a 2D animated character.
Yeah, but
I don't
everything
know.
else is CG.
But even, like, in the Love, Death, and Robots, has a lot of CG stuff, but it had a lot of 2D animation in it, too. Warner Brothers still does it. I don't know.
I'm just wondering if Disney's trying to do away with it. And if they are, I hate that. But
I do, too, but I have a feeling it's just going to be. Maybe for their big movies, they're gonna do CG and kind of like their direct-to-video and their, streaming stuff.
maybe.
It's probably gonna be still 2D. I don't
But
know.
I think it loses something.
It does a little bit.
I don't think 40 years from now, kids are gonna. Well, parents are gonna be showing their kids, grandparents showing their grandkids, um, the Jungle Book, the Jon Favreau one.
Right.
I don't know if that'll ever hold up the same way that the cartoon does.
Yeah.
Because by then you'll see the differences. Like you'll be able to spot the CG difference better than you can now.
Right.
Because like if you go back and you look at something that was so cool,
Right.
20 years ago with CG, and you look at it now, it's like, oh my god, that looks awful.
Exactly. Like if you watched Independence Day now compared to the sequel to Independence Day, it's a huge leap.
Yeah, the Independence Day then was better.
Yes.
But that's a personal thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody out there liked Resurgence.
I'm sure, but the CG held up better.
Data probably liked Insurgence.
Yes.
Resurgence.
Yes. He got a bigger part.
He was the whole movie. It's a terrible movie.
Yeah.
Did you see it yet?
No, I've seen a couple clips from
You
it.
should watch it.
No, I think I'm good.
It's a special kind of nightmare.
I think
I could do a weekly podcast about how bad that movie is.
You wanted because we could start another podcast and just do 1 minute. There's of Independence Resurgence and just call it the Insurgence.
The resurgence of my lunch.
ID4 ever.
ID forever.
ID forever.
Whatever happened to the other two he was making? Because I know that when he brought it back, it was going to be a trilogy of sequels.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good for him.
Where you at, Roland? Is that what finally stopped him? I'm thinking about it. Did Roland Emmerich have a career after Resurgence?
Well, it's how long ago was
A while ago. 3 years, maybe?
Well, he could. Honestly, if he was working on like another CG type movie, it could take that long.
For a while, he was on a roll of just garbage films.
What was the one before that?
The White House Down.
Oh my, he was that guy?
That was him.
Oof.
Yeah, and before that, it was, I don't know, he did he do 10,000 BC? I think he might have.
Yeah, but that wasn't necessarily a failure. Like, it did okay. I think it made okay money.
More research required.
Yeah.
Him. But he made some real stinkers.
Yes, he did.
He made 2012.
Oh, I remember that.
If there's a plane or a helicopter and it is moving away from a large explosion by mere inches.
Did he do San Andreas?
No, that's a different guy.
Okay.
That's the guy who did Rampage.
Oh, he did both those for The Rock?
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of hoping they'd do another Rampage.
Roland Emmerich made Independence Day Resurgence in 2016.
Okay.
Before that was a movie called Stonewall, which I've never even heard of.
I don't know that.
White House Down,
Mm-hmm.
Anonymous, which was that Shakespeare, like, the mystery of, like, who killed Shakespeare, and Shakespeare was, like, a fraud thing.
Oh, the whole, what's his name? The other guy who was the writer at that time.
Yeah. Is it Bacon? Is that his last name? I don't know. 2012, 10,000 BC, Day After Tomorrow, The Patriot.
Day After Tomorrow.
Godzilla, Independence Day, and he also did Stargate. So I think...
Oh, man.
And Universal Soldier.
Oh, man.
So he's responsible for a lot of the sadness that is in this world.
Well, I remember. I mean, I haven't watched it in a while. It's probably pretty dated now, but Stargate I remember liking
Okay.
at
What
the
about
time.
Godzilla?
Oh, did see that in the theater. It made me weep. Thank God it didn't end Godzilla's career because we're about to get another Godzilla drop, and I
Is
can't wait.
is he so awful that he made Mel Gibson racist?
The Patriot?
Well, no, I mean
That was a big movie
it was,
with
but
Heath Ledger and
did he
stuff.
somehow infect Mel Gibson with something? Because is that when Mel Gibson's career died?
After The
2000?
Patriot? No, he did a couple more movies after that.
But I'm saying, like, did that make him awful? Because
I don't
when he
know.
went, he disappeared.
Well, no, because he. No, I don't, when did he do the
It would have been 2002-ish. There we go.
When did he do the movie where they chase through the jungle?
Mel Gibson?
Apocalypto.
Oh, well, I'm not talking about his directing career. Because
Oh,
he was
okay.
already hated when he made that.
Okay.
I think he got people mad at him after Passion of the Christ, so it had to be later.
Yeah, because Passion of the Christ.
Or maybe they hated him for his prejudice against Jewish people, but then it was like real racism and sexism later with the phone calls to his ex-wife.
Yeah, I heard some of those. They're pretty crazy.
Yeah, he's a special kind of nut.
Yeah, I think he just needs maybe a good doctor and some medication. He'll be okay.
Maybe.
Because he's doing movies again. So
Yeah, he's got that dragged across concrete one.
I don't know that
It's
one.
him and Vince Vaughn.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, it's like 3 hours long,
Really?
and he's not directing it; somebody else is. Yeah, I feel like it was just in theaters, but like at theater.
Yeah. I was not even aware of it.
Yeah.
It's very strange. So Shazam. Sorry, we got a little tangent, but that happens. So Shazam, really good. And that we were just talking about CG effects and stuff, but there is good CG in this, but also the suit that he wears is a practical suit. It
Well, yeah.
it looks CG, but it like the symbol, like even the lightning bolt on his chest symbol lighting up, that's in the suit.
Well, yeah, because they have plenty of room to work. Because
Exactly.
clearly he's not that big.
Well, I saw him recently on he was on the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel or whatever, that Amazon show, the second season. And he got muscle. He has some decent muscle. Maybe not giant bubbly muscle, but he's a pretty good big dude, Chuck.
I'm trying to think, is he the only one that's been in both cinematic universes now? No, there've been others, right?
Well, what was he in the other cinematic universe?
Thor. He was like Thor's little arrow buddy.
Oh, that's right.
He was Robin
In
Hood.
the second Thor movie.
Yeah, and
He-
then he died.
Yeah.
In the third one, right?
But I don't think it was yeah, he was like the Errol Flynn guy. But I don't think he wasn't him in that third movie. Ragnarok, it wasn't him.
Or maybe he was already dead. Or maybe they went back to the first one. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think they got the same actor. Like it's been a different actor for every one of the movies, the Thor movies. But, whatever. For the Warriors 3, except for Ray Stevenson, I think he came back for like every movie. Cuz he's the Punisher.
He is the Punisher.
He is.
So, oh yeah, and Mark Strong has now been the bad guy in 2 separate DC movies.
Oh yeah. He was Sinestro in Green Lantern.
The best DC cinematic universe movie.
Yes. Some people like that version of Green Lantern. I don't know. Yeah, and he was the bad guy in this. He was like the bad guy in John Carter of Mars too.
Yeah, he's always, well, not always. He's
Yeah.
a bad guy a lot.
Kingsman.
Yeah, he's one of the best good guys in the Kingsman.
I was, spoiler for the Kingsman, really upset when he died. I was like, why kill this character? I like this guy. I don't like the main kid. You can kill him.
What? You don't like him?
I think he's okay.
Well, he's about
Robin
to be
Hood
Elton
is-
John.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I actually kind of want to see it. I'm like, all right, I'll watch this. It's weird.
I
It's
didn't
even
see
weirder that
Robin
he's
Hood.
like still alive and they're just like
Is he? I wonder if he's okay with it.
I think he's hung out with that guy. Like him and Elton John have hung out. What's his name? Egerton?
Yeah, it's Aaron Eggert, maybe.
Yeah, Robin Hood.
Yeah, Kingsman boy.
Kingsman.
Kingsman's a really good movie.
Which I think they're going to do another one.
As they should.
Yeah.
The second one I don't think made any money, so maybe.
I think it made okay money, but like not a lot.
The first one did really well.
Yes.
The second one, I don't think they advertised it right.
Yeah. And they spoiled something in like a trailer.
Yeah.
I was like, that would have been a great reveal.
They spoiled it in the first poster.
I know. I was like, really? Why? That would have been a great surprise to see him back.
And he's good in that role.
Yeah.
Like,
Which I was glad they brought him back, but I was just like, it would have been better if it was just a surprise.
I don't know how they got him for it. Like, how do you get Colin Firth for that movie?
And that was after King's Speech.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he just likes working with those dudes.
Maybe.
Could be.
Matthew Vaughn is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that's him, right? Or is
I'm pretty sure it's him. But, I don't know. We'll see. But, we keep getting off on tangents here. So, Shazam, worth watching. A lot of fun. There's a lot of references to Big. They even do, like, that little... the piano. The when he throws Batman at him. They're in the toy store.
Get him, Batman.
Get him, Batman. I'm Batman. It's like a giant Batman doll that talks. And I'm pretty sure it's the guy from the animated series who does the voice, which is awesome. Because, of course, if you're going to have a Batman voice in there, you need that Batman.
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy. That is Batman.
I was having this discussion. Have we talked... We haven't talked about the Joker trailer.
No. And that was another thing. I'm sorry we haven't gotten to that yet. The Joker, the one with Joaquin Phoenix, they dropped that.
Yeah. Is it called Joker?
I think it's just called Joker. The Joker or is it Joker?
I think it's just Joker.
Joker.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a major problem with the direction it took, and I almost would rather... Now, maybe it'll turn out great.
Yes.
Maybe it won't be the King of Comedy reference that it looks like.
It definitely has like some reference to that. Even Robert De Niro's in this, which is crazy.
Yeah, Rupert Pumpkin.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it needs to be this dark. And if it does need to be this dark, does it need to be this character? Because everything about it doesn't look like the Joker to me, aside from the fact that he's a clown.
Yes. It looks almost like, see, this is the thing that I'm confused by. It looks like it's almost like the 70s or 60s era, but that also can just be what sometimes they do with Gotham. Sometimes Gotham, they just kind of leave in this weird 50s, 60s era-ish kind of stuff, like gangsters and stuff like that. But I don't know. Like, it's like, what version of the Joker is this trying to say?
Unless it's not any of them.
Yeah.
Unless it's just called Joker and it has nothing to do with that. Like Cloverfield.
Well, he works, I think, or is visiting somebody in the Arkham Institute, like hospital or something like that. So there's definitely a reference to Arkham, and they're in Gotham.
Yeah, and it looks like he works there, because it looks like when they're sedating somebody.
Yeah. Which
could be, a parent? I'm assuming somebody's family somehow is messing this guy up because there's something going on there.
Yeah, it looked like he was taking care of maybe his mother or something.
Again, you've got your crazy psychopath. Like, it's creepy psychopath by the numbers.
Yes.
Which I don't know if the Joker needs a backstory. And if he does need a backstory, I don't think it needs to be generic, man.
Yeah. I mean, there have been Jokers with backstories. In The Killing Joke, that's probably almost the definitive version of a backstory that we ever got.
That's where he's a comedian.
That's where he's like a comedian who has like mob connections, and they pull job, and he's dressed as the Red Hood, and that's when he gets dropped into a vat of acid and all that stuff. Like they're robbing some chemical lab. Yeah, and something happens. I think to his wife and kids or something like that, like an accident or something at their apartment. I forget the whole story behind the Killing Joke. It's been a while since I've read it, but I believe it was something along those lines. But you don't necessarily even know if that's a true story or if that's just something he tells himself of what happened. It is kind of like what Heath Ledger did in The Dark Knight, where it's like, you want to know how I got these scars, and he just tells us
different every time.
it's a different story. They've even referenced that in Batman the Animated Series, where he tells Harley Quinn a story to get like sympathy from her as his doctor. So it is kind of weird to have a definitive backstory. There's even something, I don't know, this is kind of a recent thing, but in the comics that there might have been 3 Jokers. Like that there's like it's almost like each time it's like a different person that goes through like something horrible that happens to them. So that's kind of what they say, that maybe the story keeps changing, but that's only like a recent thing. So I don't know what they're trying to say, that this is maybe like the first Joker, and then that something happens during the 70s in Gotham, and then it's like Heath Ledger might have kind of seen this guy. And
Oh,
like,
you think it's going to run into that universe?
I don't know.
Because that universe is pretty much dead. If anything, it's going to go into the Jared Leto universe.
Yeah, or Jared Leto sees, you know.
But then he's got all those weird tattoos.
Yeah, that's still always kind of like
Neither of them
silly,
are the Joker.
I know, it is kind of like a weird thing.
Unless they're going to make Joker's Wild.
Joker's Wild,
which is CG and Heath Ledger.
Oh my god. I hope they never allow that to happen. It's weird enough when they try to age people down in Captain Marvel. God help us if they try to like replace an actor fully. Like, then Uncanny Valley would be too much.
Well, they did it a few times.
Yeah, but I've always, like, it's weird. Like, I remember seeing in Rogue One when they replaced that one guy. It was just, it's weird. It looks weird to me. And for seeing it for like a long period of time, I just couldn't watch it.
Yeah.
It's weird when not everybody's a CG character. Then it's kind of like you kind of accept it, but then it's like if it's just like one person with other real people, it looks really weird. I don't know. But this is, yeah, so
Tarkin.
We see like something, he's at like a comedy club, he's trying to force himself to smile, he's painting himself up like a clown as a job, and then I don't know, there's something happens where it's like a crime spree is going on. I don't know. It's interesting. It would be maybe a more interesting character movie that didn't involve the Joker.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just have it be called something else. Clown.
Like this, honestly, but I think this is almost like what they're trying to do is just, hey, you've got this Joker character, it might fit into my movie about a comedian who goes a little bit crazy. We'll throw in some Gotham and Arkham references so it fits into that universe, but it's actually a weird drama movie that has nothing really to do with the Joker. I'm kind of interested to see where this goes. And that's what they want. I mean, they want to draw you in enough to be like, this could be something good, this could be something that's not supposed to be this.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'll go with the latter.
Yeah. So we'll see where that goes. What do you think? Like,
I don't know. I'll have to see more of it because right now it's mostly just, hey guys, this is a teaser, but
yeah.
it's a long teaser.
Oh yeah, and they play like the smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that we'll have to see what they're trying to do with it, if they're trying to make it part of that universe.
Yeah.
Or if it's his own thing. If they officially come out with a statement about it, that'd be cool.
That would be cool, because then you can kind of know where you're going with this.
But I'm also not a huge fan of Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah. I mean, he does, I liked him in Her. I think he did a good job in that. Walk the Line. I can't think of the
Everybody says Walk the Line. I
I
didn't
know.
think he was that good in Walk the Line. I mean, he sounded like Johnny Cash,
Yeah.
but I didn't think he was that good.
Okay.
Did a lot of crying. I don't know. I don't like him. I just, as an actor, I just don't think he's that good.
Okay.
He whispers a lot. That's
He
his thing.
does. He does whisper.
He whispers. The Punisher looks to the left and growls.
You always go on about the Punisher.
That's what he does.
He does. Alright. Captain Rick. Oh, wrong show. Sorry.
Where's Jigsaw? The Punisher should have been Batman. Yeah, he does that. What's he doing?
I do
What's
love
he
it.
freaking out about?
I love it.
I'd like to just follow him around and be like, hey, calm down. Hey, what's wrong?
I don't know. He was good in Baby Driver. He had a very short part, but
Yeah, they didn't give him enough time to look to the left and growl.
But Shazam, we're seeing a lot of fun. Definitely go see that movie. So moving on a little bit, you've been playing Sekiro.
More of it, yeah.
Shadows Die Twice. Apparently, it's very popular. So it sold through 2 million copies in 10 days.
2 million in 10 days. It's FromSoft's biggest game ever now.
Glad because they're a studio that deserves it because they make good stuff.
They do.
And when you make good stuff, obviously it catches on.
If they'd have self-published, probably would have been a bigger success for them.
So wait, who's this published through?
Activision.
Oh, so Activision gets this
So
stuff.
well, I mean, you still
Ooh.
make money on it, but
Yeah,
Activision is making a piece of it.
Mhm.
I don't know. Activision does some cool stuff. I'd like to see them. What makes me happy about it is it's not microtransaction
Yes.
central. There's no season pass. It is just a complete game.
Yes.
It's almost like Activision is trying to get back to branching out a bit.
We'll see where they go.
They published this game.
All
That's
right.
a good step in the right direction.
That
I mean,
is good.
It's not, BioWare.
Oh, that's true.
And what's going on with them. That's some interesting stuff. We got to talk in a few minutes. I'll make this quick
Okay.
so we can talk about one other thing that came out, which is hilarious.
Okay.
Sekiro, I've gotten a lot better at it, and it turns out that the thing that was annoying me is easily negated. There we go. So
Right.
that dragon rot that we talked about last
Yeah,
time.
that's right. Because you were like every time you died, the villagers that you were like looking like helped you out and stuff started to get this dragon rot stuff. So you were worried that you couldn't like die so many times, but now you found out what.
Yeah, there's an item you can get that just negates that. Had I played just a little bit further or gone and talked to one person, I might have actually been at the point where I could have just talked to that person and fixed it.
Oh, okay.
But I hadn't done that,
Right.
and I just restarted the game when I chose to.
Which is very deceiving when they kind of don't give you like everything you need to know up front. So
Yeah, but that's kind of their way to begin with. FromSoft is very minimalist when it comes to telling you what to do.
yeah, that's kind of like their thing.
Even the fact that they have a training area in this game with a guy who just can't die that teaches you to fight
Right.
is not something they've ever done before.
Oh, really? They've never had like a
No
like
training grounds. Like you go die.
Oh,
You
okay.
go die and get punished for it.
Right. And then eventually you get better.
Right. This has like the little guy you can go up to and he'll teach you moves.
Right.
So that it's a lot better. There's some amazing boss fights. Fought a giant ape that I showed Tim.
Yes, and it was amazing. We're gonna spoil a little bit for you. It's a giant white ape that's basically like the gorilla from Rampage.
It is with a sword sticking through his neck.
You're right. You take that sword out and cut his head off, and you think that's the end of the fight. Oh no, it's not the end of the fight.
Nope. He just carries the head
He
around.
carries
with
his head around and grabs that sword and just starts swinging that at you too. And why is that, Bob?
Why is that? Well, spoiler alert. And it's probably going to have a lot to do with whatever this is, but there is some sort of parasite centipede within him, and you kill that, and that's the end of the fight.
Yeah. So, wow.
Yeah.
Don't know, and we don't know why that's there. Like they haven't said why there's
Not yet.
centipedes and people. That's horrifying.
It is horrifying. I'm excited to see what happens next.
So, wow.
Yeah.
So that is that as far as you've gotten?
I beat him. I am headed to the next area. So like that was the last big fight that I did, the last sort of story drop.
Okay.
But there's apparently two different ways I can go, and I went back and did some other stuff in the other direction that was minor.
Okay.
Like collected some items and beat one of the mid bosses.
Gotcha.
Yes. But yeah, that's really fun. To go into that one thing that I wanted to bring up real quick.
Yes.
So BioWare might only be here for one reason.
Okay.
And that reason might be, so remember I said if Anthem flops, like BioWare's gonna get shut, and that sucks.
Yes.
Um, they must have known. There's all these leaks coming out about Anthem.
Right.
So last year at E3, they showed that loop, and I was like, this game's not even worked on.
Right.
This game's not done. Apparently, I was right.
Oh.
It seems that the game actually only got built over 9 months. Yep.
Wow.
And
how? Like, actually, that's impressive. It's not a complete game, but the fact that they were able to do that much in 9 months?
Yep.
How?
And that's why they didn't show anything. Also, it turns out that there was so many shenanigans going on with it that they changed the name. EA changed the name before the E3 announcement, the original one,
Okay.
like by 2 days. To Anthem isn't even the name they wanted it to be.
What was the name?
I forgot what it's called, like Banner or something. So some other name that they said made sense for the game. And the game had such a lack of identity because people didn't even know what they were making.
Oh my
They
god.
just kept messing with it. And my favorite part.
Jeez, okay.
So BioWare announces Dragon Age 4 with like this cropped together trailer in like almost no time. And
Okay.
the reason they did that is they knew that because Anthem was going to flop, they needed something for EA to stave them from shutting them down.
Okay.
So they just put together this trailer and they were like, Dragon Age 4, show it, whatever. And they just gave it to EA, and EA was like, okay. And then Anthem flopped. And they can't shut them down because they know Dragon Age will sell.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So how did that come out?
How did... What?
Like all that, like the it was like 9 months.
There's all these leaks from the people working there now.
Oh, okay. So people are basically breaking their non-disclosures.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Yeah.
They're in a bad way.
Yeah.
Because...
I mean, this is the time of social media. You're not going to be able to keep something like that under wraps. That's crazy.
Yeah, and if half of what they've been saying is true, it's ridiculous. Like, Patrick Soderlund apparently wouldn't approve anything until the flight was right, which is why the game was worked on for so little a time.
Wait, just the character flights?
Yeah, the flight, because they move around by flying. And
right.
When you're playing it, it feels like you're Iron Man. It's really cool.
Okay.
So he was right about making that right.
Yeah.
The problem is they could have worked on the rest of the game at the same time.
Oh my god.
The guy, well, he's gone.
Well, what did they fire? They fired him.
No, he left.
He left.
With like $20 million bonus or whatever he got.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like they take ridiculous amounts of money. Whatever his amount was, I don't remember. So if it's 20, if it's 16, whatever.
So who's there making Dragon Age 4 then?
Well, BioWare. So Patrick Soderlund was the head of EA Gaming.
Oh, okay.
Which owns BioWare.
Right, I know that. And BioWare has they've made great games. They
used to.
Yeah.
They had two clunkers in a row.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Right, Jade Empire. Mass Effect.
Yes, Mass Effect was huge.
That's all them.
Yeah.
Dragon Age, of course.
Right.
And then EA got hold of them, and they continued Mass Effect. Mass Effect 3 not as well received, as it could have been. Dragon Age 2 was more mainstream than anything else.
Yes.
They tried Dragon Age Inquisition. It came out decent.
Right.
Mass Effect Andromeda, woof. And then Anthem, worse than woof. Now, Dragon Age 4, or whatever they're going to call it, has to be perfect. or they're gonna go. But luckily, EA is also doing this other thing where they have another small studio, or smallish studio, working on several games at once, which is always a great idea.
Oh God.
So Respawn. You might remember Respawn for doing shady things when leaving after Modern Warfare 2. This guy, is it Weston Zampella,
Okay.
were fired from Activision along with parts of their key team
Oh,
just
okay.
after Modern Warfare 2 was released
Mm-hmm.
because they made, I think it was 2, might have been during the making of 3, because they were possibly, allegedly communicating with EA, who makes the biggest competitor to Call of Duty, Battlefield,
Right.
about other stuff. So they leave, they make Respawn Entertainment. That's their big announcement. They make
Right.
Titanfall 1.
Yes, which was actually did pretty okay for them.
It did okay.
Right.
They do Titanfall 2. EA. EA. Let's talk about EA. EA releases... What do you think EA's biggest game is right now, aside from sports titles?
I was gonna say some sports, but
Say Battlefield, right?
yeah, probably. But even Battlefield isn't huge for them, is it?
It's pretty huge.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I always thought like Call of Duty was more of the bigger, like that was bigger than what they had for Battlefield.
So Titanfall 2,
Right.
EA decides, they got a release window set up. It's like October.
Okay.
We're going to put it out then. Hey, you know what we're going to do 4 days before or 4 days after, whatever it was. It was like 4 days in one direction. We're going to put out Battlefield. Like, there you go.
Jeez.
So Titanfall 2 didn't do very well.
Right.
So they decide they're going to make Apex Legends, which is actually pretty big right now.
Okay. Is that a recent announcement?
It's out.
Oh, okay.
It's a free-to-play game. It's like Fortnite.
Oh, okay.
It's
all right.
really popular. So that's what Respawn has been doing up front.
Right.
But they've been leaking all this stuff this week, and they had announced at E3 by a guy in the audience saying it. If you ever get a chance to watch the EA press conference, which was pre-taped, I believe,
Okay.
Zampella is in the audience, and he's like, "Yeah, Respawn's working on a new Star Wars game, guys."
Oh, is that the Jedi Fallen
Order. So
yeah, there has been rumors about that.
well, it's out. Like, they have a poster of it.
I've seen that.
They're gonna show off gameplay. Not to date this, but I think tomorrow or Saturday.
Yes, because that's Star Wars Celebration.
Mm-hmm. So they're gonna show it, but at the same time, they've been working on Apex Legends and allegedly Titanfall 3.
Okay.
This small studio is also making Star Wars, which we've learned in the past is the best thing to do with something major. Split your resources
Yeah.
and don't put a lot of focus on it.
Yeah.
So we'll see, because EA has no bad history with splitting its resources with Star Wars at all, except for their last 3 games.
Yeah, Star Wars Battlefront.
Battlefront 1 and 2, the new ones. And
They were actually pretty good. I liked, probably the second one was my favorite one.
You're talking the old.
No, I'm talking the old one.
I'm talking the new.
Yeah, the new one. Not so good.
Not so good. And also Star Wars The Old Republic, which is the MMO.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they canned 2 other Star Wars games. So bad did they can those 2 other Star Wars games that Disney is resurrecting Lucasfilm Games. Not LucasArts, Lucasfilm Games.
I do remember that.
They just announced it a few weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
So they have no faith in this one.
Wow. So they're bringing that all under their house.
Yeah, so now,
Because I think that would... Honestly, maybe that's the best move for... honestly, if you're a Star Wars fan, maybe they're going to bring back the guys who made the games that people liked.
all they need to do is make a decent game and it'll sell. Just make a decent one.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be great.
And also make a Sam & Max game.
Sam & Max was Telltale.
Oh, was it?
They had the license.
Okay.
So I don't know where it went when they went out.
Okay.
Maybe, Walking Dead man owns it. Kirkman.
Kirkman.
I don't know what he bought of Telltale. With his...
Oh, he bought stuff.
Well, he published the final season of the game. It just
Yeah, I
came
know
out.
that the Walking Dead stuff.
So I'm wondering if he bought anything else.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. But because I think those rights would probably just go back to the creator.
Maybe.
I can't think of his name right now. But
maybe he'll buy a piece of Bill Willingham's stuff so he can make another
Fables.
Wolf Among Us.
Yeah. Because those were good, and I thought those did okay for them.
The Wolf Among Us was great. It was well received. It sold well.
They even did a comic series based off of it, which is funny because it's based off a comic.
Yeah.
So this is a comic based off a game that's based off a comic. Very strange. And they brought back Fables, which is very also, I guess, they realized because he had ended the series. And I guess people loved it enough that they've kind of brought back Fables to Vertigo. So that's still going on, I think.
Good. They were good.
They were good. But I don't think he's not doing it anymore. He's not writing it. So it's kind of like he's letting them kind of people go with it.
Well, sometimes it's not such a bad thing.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, sometimes George Lucas, you need to let stuff go.
Yeah. We'll see with episode 9. I think it's getting a title this week.
Yeah. I think this will be like next week where you're going to be talking. Well, one thing we'll be talking about is it's the, what is it, one more week and then, no, 2 more weeks and then Avengers.
Yeah.
2 more
weeks. Isn't it the 24th? So next week it'll be a week from then.
Right. So not next week, but the week after that.
Yeah, we'll be talking like crazy about Avengers.
Yeah.
Avengers.
And seeing it like 20 times.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe once. Maybe it's terrible.
Oh, I hope not. But you know what? So much hype built behind it right now. I don't know.
Just do what I do and don't care.
Yes.
Everybody's gonna die. The only person that's gonna live is Ant-Man.
Yes. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Because every time, Thanos tries to smack him, he shrinks down.
It's just like a game of just him growing and shrinking, growing and shrinking. I was gonna say just grow giant and just step on him.
Yeah, there you go.
And boot him like a football.
I don't know, he's pretty strong.
Yeah. Still get booted.
I gotta show you a funny thing later.
Okay. So a lot of leaks going on. So I was saying next week, Star Wars Celebration. I'm sure they're going to have some sort of teaser trailer, all the game announcements, whatever else is going on with their TV series and stuff like that. Because this is the thing. Favreau's been working on this Mandalorian series for their streaming service.
Does that even have a launch date, though, the streaming service? Because now they announced a Hawkeye show.
Right. Which I think is strange.
Why? Because he's not going to die?
Yeah.
They're just like,
unless
hey,
they're
guys.
setting up, unless this is Hawkeye's daughter set up.
Well, there's a girl in it.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, it's not Hawkeye's daughter, though.
Okay.
They're apparently... Well, the comic series that you, I think, read.
Yeah.
That girl.
Oh, okay.
Is going to be in it.
It'll be, I think her name's Kate Bishop.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay. Oh, that'll be interesting. Okay.
So he's training her.
All right.
Apparently.
That'll be cool. I love that. Although it doesn't really fit in with this version of Hawkeye. If they're going off of the series that they did.
Why?
Well, Hawkeye is not married in the series.
He might not be anymore.
Oh, that's true.
Because this Ronin Hawkeye looks like maybe he doesn't have much to live for.
Yes.
He's out there murdering Japanese men.
But obviously by the end of this movie, because we know Spider-Man's back.
Maybe it's in the past.
We don't know. That's true. We don't know.
Maybe
I'm sure they didn't announce, Phase 4 movies with Black Panther sequels and.
No, he's dead too.
Yeah, he's.
It's
sure.
It's a prequel.
I'm sure. Or he's not the Black Panther yet.
Yeah.
No. But next week we'll be, I'm sure, talking about a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you were saying, the streaming service, Mandalorian. I'm guessing they're gonna show stuff from it. I don't think they'll have like maybe not a release date yet, but I'm sure they'll show some stuff from it.
Is that going to be about Boba Fett?
Um, kinda, but I think it'll be more about the Mandalorians. Like I think there's like a lot of wars that they fought in and stuff.
Okay.
They're a bit mercenary-ish, but you know,
I don't know that I care.
that's the thing. Like, is it like why? If it's not about Boba Fett, do I care that much?
I don't know if I care if it's about Boba Fett.
Yeah,
Like, I think he's a more interesting character if you don't know that much about him.
it's true.
Why don't they just make Shadows of the Empire movie?
It would be cool if they did. I'd totally watch that. But I don't think Mark Hamill's up for it anymore.
No? Well, what with him not being alive anymore in the movies.
Yes. And him being on an island forever.
And being a lot older.
Yes.
They just CG him.
Oh, no. See, then it would get weird. Because then I'd be like, ugh, this is so weird. I don't think they want to CG an entire character for a TV show.
Would they pre or post car accident CG Mark Hamill, do you think, for that?
Ooh.
That's a weird question, right?
That is a weird question.
But that's a different Mark Hamill.
It's very true. Because he had the car accident after Star Wars or after Empire?
I think it was after Star Wars 1.
I think it was, yeah.
Or 4. A New Hope.
Because that takes place between... Shadows of the Empire is between Jedi and Empire.
Empire and Jedi.
Empire and Jedi. Either way. It's going good. See Rogue One running around.
Yep.
I don't know. This is a weird question that probably won't ever happen. I could see them doing an animated version.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And they have done, on the Clone Wars, some stuff about the Mandalorians. In fact, I think in one of the series, one of the main characters was a Mandalorian, like, warrior. She would...
I want an Ewok show.
I'd love to see an Ewok show.
Or just show the Ewok adventure movies 24 hours a day.
You could... Well, that's the whole thing. On your streaming service, you can watch them whenever.
No, I want the streaming service to work just like regular cable.
And just have it only plays Ewok movies.
And commercials, right, would be previews of the Star Wars Christmas special.
Oh my goodness. That would be amazing, but no.
Why not?
Please never.
What is it? It's like...
It's,
Celebration Day?
So, something day.
For Wookiees?
Yeah, it's like... I can't even remember what it is, but it's just so ridiculous. You could see, like, Harrison Ford there, just like, oh, why am I doing this? I should have just stayed a carpenter. It's like, yeah, great. Force Wookiees. Love it.
Love it.
Although, I mean, he's changed his tune now. But back then, you could see he was just dying inside. He was like, oh, I can't believe I do this garbage.
I don't know.
He was not happy.
Why wasn't he happy, though? Did he not see it? Like, did he not understand why it was
Well,
fun?
this is... Remember, Star Wars really hadn't had... I mean, it had success, but it wasn't, like, huge success yet. But I think once Empire had happened, and they realized how big it was, like... But I think he didn't really like doing the extra stuff. Like, he was fine with doing the movies, but I think he was not happy with all the extra stuff.
Well, now he'll do just about anything.
Yeah.
He'll do an Amazon commercial.
He will.
Where's-
He'll do another Indiana Jones, apparently.
Where his dog will order food. Did you see that commercial?
Yes.
It's really stupid.
Yeah. I think he's having a good time. I think he's just enjoying his semi-retirement.
We'll see when he makes Indiana Jones and he's clearly not retired.
Yeah. And he goes to
150 years old.
Oh man, I don't know. Unless Shia LaBeouf comes back and picks up that hat, he was
better
supposed
not.
to.
Stay away.
That's what he should have done. Picked up that hat and put it on. Been like, yeah, that's right. I'm Indiana Jones now. Just looked at the camera and be like, I'm Indiana Jones. And he just does, do it, do it.
Would that be better or worse for you than that entire movie?
Better.
That
To
would
be
better?
honest, that movie is insanity. I was just like, oh, did nobody say, hey, maybe this isn't the best idea? Maybe we need to do little rewrites on this?
Well, that's the thing. How do you say that
To
Steven Spielberg and George Lucas? Like,
yeah.
how do you say that to somebody?
Yeah.
Like, as another writer, as an intern.
Exactly. I get that. And I blame that partially, especially with George Lucas, with those prequels. I mean, you could see, like, there's okay stuff in the prequels. There's some stuff that needed some help in those prequels. A lot of stuff.
Yeah, but who's going to say that to him? Is Fox going to say that?
No.
They made him...
No,
or
they're
he
like...
made them billions.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, do more Indiana Joneses. Do more Star Wars movies. We don't care if they're good or bad.
Oh, well.
Alright.
Rest in peace.
He's not dead. But yeah, we'll be talking more about this. Maybe Bob will have beaten Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
There's going to be a point where I have to take a break. I might even take one now, because it's just like I'm on boss rush mode.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I feel like I'm not focusing enough on what's going on around it.
Gotcha. Alright. Well, we'll talk more stuff next week. One of us will hopefully have seen the new Hellboy movie. Hopefully it does well. I would like them to do more Hellboy stuff.
Those reviews look rough.
I have heard some bad stuff about the reviews,
but I like Ian McShane a lot.
I do, and I actually like the guy who plays Hellboy.
Oh, Mila Jovovich?
No, but yes, she is in it.
David Harbour is his name.
Yes, I always forget his name.
Yeah, he's good in Stranger Things.
He is. New Stranger Things trailer dropped. Looks good. I'm interested to see how this whole thing plays out.
You see the third one, or the fourth one's going to take place in the 90s. They're going to call it Stranger Things.
I thought it was going to be Stranger Things by the Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
The new class. 90210.
I forgot the name.
One
of the
Tree
town
Hill.
I live in. One Tree Hill. I think One Tree Hill was thousands.
Eleven's Creek.
2000s. Eleven's Creek.
Yes.
I don't know, because by then she'll have been stepped on by Godzilla.
It's true. Oh, I can't wait for that Godzilla movie. I'm so happy that it's coming out.
It's May, right?
Yeah, Memorial Day, right?
Sounds right.
Yep. And next month, Free Comic Book Day. It's all coming up. It's all coming. It's all for you, Damien. It's all for you. All right. So, as always, you can find me on Instagram at Tim Martinek. You can find Bob at...
I'm on Instagram at Bob J. Martin, and I'm on Twitter at Martin, MARTON_Bob.
And we're Precarious Pixels on Spreaker, Stitcher, iTunes, and YouTube. And you can leave us a review on any of those, and we'll happily reply to you. But me and Bob are actually working on some creative things that hopefully we'll be talking about soon. And keep doing your own stuff. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
To do a little redesigning with us, you can find Bob at Martin, MARTON_BOB, on Twitter, and you can find me on Instagram at Tim Martinek, all one word, TIMMARTINEC. And you can join in us, have some fun, do your redesigns for this week's redesign. It's a lot of fun for us to do this, but we like to see fresh ideas and fresh artists like doing what they do as well. You can also hashtag it Precarious Pixels and we'll find it as well.